Welcome everyone to ERX Motorpark in Elk River, Minnesota for the Lucas Oil Points Championship presented by Polaris Razor. This, ladies and gentlemen, is Terracross. A little bit of a chill in the air here. Tess Sewell alongside Grant Langston, Georgia Lindsay down on track, and this is the Points Championship at this purpose-built track here at Elk River, Grant.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. Weather has played a factor, really changing this track up. But before we go racing, let's have a look. You go off the Optima start line into this first left-hander split lane, pick your line over a double, then through the Sedona tire Ripsaw Ridge. You're going to make a left into the Walker Evans Whoops. Three-way split lane there, great passing opportunity. Then over a step up into the Fox Proving Grounds. Another good pass into the split lane. Big tabletop. Difficult for these guys and girls to get over completely clean into the only right-hander and then over the WPS fly racing finish line.
And one of the things we've definitely seen in the Fox Proving Grounds is the challenges that a lot of these drivers have had. And for more on our drivers down on track, let's visit Georgia Lindsay.
So other people have had an opportunity to get to take a ride with these professionals, but now I think it's my turn. I get to watch it, but now it's time for me to really understand how it feels. Let's take a lap. This shows you the journey we went on, but I can tell you what, Terracross is insane. Amy Hood was insane, and this was so much fun. And I'm ready. I'm ready to race now. I think.
I think you're ready, girl. I think we got to get you in the behind the wheel seat of Polaris Razor.
Next Terracross, put it there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I just love the fact that Amy didn't let up at all for that whole lap.
You basically hear Georgia screaming from the sidelines. Very exciting stuff, and probably a little frightening.
So here we go, fly racing pro women on the line. The front line, Amy Hood, who you just saw giving Georgia the ride, Shelby Mahone. But they're being chased. That back line of Jamie Luberg and Jolene Van Butte, that is where the heat is going to be. That's the Points Championship right there.
Yeah, well, you just said it right there. The Points Championship is up for grabs, and there is a tight enough battle. There's about 3 drivers really in contention for this one, and most of them coming from the back of the pack.
Oh, look at the speed of Amy Hood on the outside there to take the lead outside of the first turn. Great driving from her.
Yeah, that was a bold move. Just got a good power slide through that first turn. But she's got clear track right now, so she can pick her lines. And as we mentioned, from all the rain they've had throughout the weekend, on and off, this track is definitely a little more on the slick side.
So Amy Hood in the lead now. Addison Neibel, though. Addison Neibel, who has really progressed this year to become such a talented racer. She is in second place in this race. And meanwhile, Jolene and Jamie still on the back line there, fighting it out for the points.
Yeah, you see them bouncing around through there. These UTVs getting a little bit unsettled. See Jamie at the back of the pack. The only thing she's got to keep in mind, of course, is the championship situation, and being at the back right now, she is very vulnerable of losing this, but still plenty of racing to go, 9 more laps.
And that pink number 63 in the middle of your screen there. Jolene really needs to win this and hope that Jamie does not have a good result, because the margin, oh wow, you saw how hard that is not what Jolene Van Butte needs to be doing if she wants to win this championship.
No, but at the same time, she is trying to make up ground wherever she is. Oh, whoa! And that was, I believe, Michelle Abadi. She goes over.
Michelle Abadi coming into this series from a lot of road tarmac racing. Look at this.
Yeah, she just carried so much momentum out of the Ripsaw Ridge. Almost maybe like she got confused which jump she was coming out of. Carried a little too much speed and just dropped that front end. And Luberg now in the slop, battling to get back on track.
And that's great news for Jolene Van Butte and her championship hopes. We got a chance to sit down with her earlier to talk about her racing career.
I came 12 years from Nitro Circus. Before that, I raced outdoor motocross. And I've kind of been moving towards the stunt industry lately, doing film and TV stunt work. This led me, was actually Sarah Price was one of the people that I know from racing. You know, we raced motocross together at X Games, we raced Supercross, and she was just like, you'd be really good at this, you'd have a lot of fun, you know, I love it. I came over and I fell in love with it, just like she said. We're here at the round at ERX Motorsports, and this track looks awesome actually. As soon as I walked up, right away I got really excited about the fact that it's a lot bigger than what we're used to. It's more open. There looks to be a lot more jumps, more obstacles, more terrain. I think they're bringing a lot more fun elements to the racing.
So here you see Jolene and Amy Hood battling it out for that second position behind Addison Nibel, who now is putting in a great charge at the front.
Yeah, she's actually got quite a comfortable gap at this point in time, but then again, Jolene coming from the back row, it's taken her a little bit of time to get through, and at times she looked a little impatient, but you know, if you see that window of opportunity, you've got to take it. Amy Hood now trying to hang on. And the question is, what has happened to Jamie Luberg? She's still in about 5th place, and that's really jeopardizing this championship.
Well, I mean, Jolene obviously wants to catch up to Addison, who we're looking at now, because second to first place, that's a 3-point gap, and she is trying to scrape out every point she can get against Jamie Luberg. So playing out in Jolene's favor right now, but again, a fantastic race and a fantastic season of learning this sport for Addison Nibel.
Yeah, it has been. And you can see the progression and maturity along with that as well. Sometimes it's difficult being the leader with a gap because you start becoming a little conservative and you sort of slow down a little too much, and the person behind is coming after you. Oh, and more trouble.
That was Shelby Mahone coming off the side of the Sedona Tire Ripsaw Ridge.
Oh, I think what happened was Amy, she got stuck, went back down, and Mahone, I think, went to avoid her, and unfortunately, wheels went off. Mandatory caution, that means we're halfway through.
Well, that's a good news, bad news scenario there for Addison Nibel. We'll be restarting when we come back to Terracross and the Fly Racing Pro Women's class with a championship on the line.
Terracross on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Polaris Razor. Fuel your freedom. By FlyRacing.com. And by Lucas Oil. Made in America, sold to the world.
Welcome back, everyone, to Terracross and the Lucas Oil Points Championship presented by Polaris Razor. Tess Sewell here alongside Grant Langston, and all kinds of fun going on out there, Grant.
Yeah, it's known as ERX. It looks more like TRX, the Tyrannosaurus out there. Great day of racing so far. Women's has been nothing short of entertaining, to say the least. Plenty of thrills and spills so far. The track crew try and clean it up to get ready for the second half of this race.
A race, of course, that is all about the points championship between Jolene Van Buet and Jamie Luberg, and we caught up with Jamie earlier to talk about our Fly Racing Pro Women's class.
The women's class out here, we like competition. We're all out here to compete on a very high level. So me, Jolene, Sarah, and a lot of the other women, we like to constantly contact other women, high up in our sport to pull them in. I mean, that's more competition for us. The better the racing, the funner it is, and makes a better TV show and race series. So that's what we like to do. My brother, Jason Luberg, is out here racing also. He's also helping build the tracks. We started riding together when we were 3, started racing together when we were 9. We grew up doing it together, so our styles are very similar, and it helps with encouragement and just having each other out here to show each other good lines and talk through it, and it's definitely a benefit having us both out here racing together.
And the good news, bad news scenario. Good news, Jolene Van Buet is ahead of Jamie Luberg. Bad news, they're all gathered back up for the restart.
Oh, look at this already. Jolene goes to the inside. Great job there from Nibel, just closing the door. Jolene knows how important this pass is. It could be the difference between winning and losing this championship at the moment. Obviously still plenty of racing, and sure we haven't seen the last of the passing happening. Great restart there from Addison Nibel, choosing to go through that middle line. See a lot of the women going up the inside. There's Luberg.
Fourth place now for Luberg, so she did manage to creep through off the start line. Meanwhile, Van Buet placing pressure on Addison Nibel. Amy Hood, though, kind of lurking behind the two of them in case Jolene pushes a little too hard.
Yeah, she's just sitting back there in third place, but really impressed with the progress of Addison Nibel. She is really driving well out front, especially with all the pressure. She doesn't want to get involved in the championship battle, so best thing to do is get up front, try and check out. But Jolene doing everything in her power to prevent that from happening. She is charging. She's, well, as close as they can be.
Jolene is really pushing here, and it's so amazing to see how quietly, smooth and confident Addison Nibel seems to be right now with that pressure behind her. She's a student by day. She's actually studying marine zoology. 18 years old and under pressure from one of the best in the sport with Van Buet, but somehow Jolene just can't find a way past.
No, that's because Nibel is driving very smart. She's being aggressive where she needs to be, but not overdriving the car. So basically no mistakes that have allowed Jolene to get through. So with the pace of Nibel and no mistakes, Jolene now searching, trying the outsides, trying the insides, taking different lines through the Walker Evans whoops as she doubles that jump from the outside, carry the momentum. This is the closest she's been.
And what's amazing, how fast they're racing. The gap they built up, what happened? Oh, I think maybe just got out of gear there. That is disaster for Jolene Van Buet. Amy Hood goes past. She's now down to third with Jamie Luberg right behind her. Wow, look at how fast she's going.
Oh, that is huge right there. Whatever happened, it seemed like it just cut out, and she had to get it fired back up. But did that little bobble right there just cost her potentially the championship? She needs 3 points on Jamie Luberg, who's now in screen. She would love to obviously get around Amy Hood and sort of keep this in her own hands, not hope that something else happens to the other drivers. Top 3 would get the job done, no matter where Jolene finished.
Well, amazingly, I think Jamie Luberg is just looking at the position of Jolene Van Buet. She is trying to drive as sensibly as possible and conserve that machine. But Jolene, what a disastrous move for her. She was doing well. She was catching up to Addison Nibel. I really thought she was going to take the lead in this race.
Well, she looked like she was going to lay it all out on the table, especially when the championship's on the line. You'll see drivers take that little bit of extra risk, kind of go for broke, as they say. But it was just a simple little stall out there that's really allowed a gap for Addison Nibel as she gets the white flag. What a way this will be for her to end the championship on a high note. Got to give her a lot of confidence going into next season.
Addison Nibel just has to work her way around this course. You saw Jolene Van Buet go across the white flag there at the finish line with 1 lap to go. Jamie Luberg is quite far back, but it doesn't matter. It's all about the position now for Jolene, and I don't think she's got enough time to catch up to Addison. Wow, what a tight race this is with so little in it after a season of racing.
Yeah, this is why we love racing, especially when it comes down to the final lap of the final race to figure out who's going to be a champion. Addison can slow it down, lap traffic ahead.
Oh, and look at that. Addison Nibel, 18 years old, takes the win here at ERX. And that was a great win for her. And as we said, Grant, just tragedy for Jolene with that problem, trying to find a way past.
Yeah, she was so close there. Finished second. Not enough points because Luberg able to get 4th place, which was just enough. But we have a happy Addison Nibel down on trackside with Georgia Lindsay.
Addison taking your first ever Terracross win. Unbelievable performance. You just kept it smooth sailing out there. You said this track kind of suited the way you ride. Yeah. It obviously did.
yeah, I was able to get out in front and just keep it pinned and stay out in front.
How happy are you leaving today knowing you've got this first place in your hand?
Very happy.
I'll let you smile and enjoy it. Well done.
Well, a lady, a few words, but a lot of action. Addison Nibel takes the win, but look at this. That was it. All the difference in the world. The 3 points between first and second for Jolene Van Vught.
Yeah, it doesn't get tighter than that one. But Jamie Luberg, even with that 4th place, does just enough as she's down with Georgia.
Well, just finding out right now that you did win the championship. And I know throughout that entire race you had issues with the front end. You weren't feeling 100% confident or comfortable with the vehicle, but you've taken the championship and the points. That's what it means.
Right. There was obviously a couple laps in, something went wrong with my front right, and I know I was only 7 points ahead, so I just played it smart and almost crashed a couple times trying to keep up to the front, but salvaged it and finished and just played it smart. Got the championship.
Congratulations. Well done.
Fly Racing Women's Championship in the books. Jamie Luberg the winner. Her brother, Jason Luberg, is going for the championship in the men's category. Coming up next, a 3-way race. Who will win? We are back at ERX Motorpark for the Lucas Oil Points Championship presented by Polaris RZR. This is Terracross Racing, and this is the ultimate round of racing here. The Pro Men, the Odyssey Battery Turbo 1000 coming up next. Tess Sewell alongside Grant Langston, Georgia Lindsay down there in the mud. But despite those muddy conditions, a track that is really in great shape, designed and built by Jason Luberg, who's in contention for the championship.
Terracross is really fun. Every time it rolls around, I'm excited for it. I get to build the tracks too, so that makes it a lot of fun. I have just as much fun doing that as racing it. I just like giving everybody something different and cool to do, to race on, because these RZRs have a lot of potential and you don't get to play on certain terrain a lot. In a perfect world, I'd love to just go build some cool, crazy stuff, but usually I only get to put a couple of those things in each time. Like for instance, now we have the weather, the rain this weekend, so that kind of limits you on what you can do. And then of course safety and where the spectators and stuff are going to be. And then, basically they just give me a layout of where they want certain things, and then from there it's open and I can just kind of go with it from there. And then of course I just ask everybody what they want and what, might be cool, give me suggestions, and I try and tie it all in so that way everybody here can help design the track. That just makes it more fun. It's just one more thing that is cool for everybody. This area is kind of home away from home. Bike Man Performance is my main sponsor. They're just right down the road, so I'm here a lot. I've been here to ERX twice already this year for racing torque. So I know a lot of the people in the area. I'm kind of familiar with the area. I like being here. I'm just excited to be here. I'm really thankful for Bike Man and Terracross and Joe and Ziegler Cat and Mystic Lubes and everybody that gets me here and lets me follow my dreams.
Well, we saw Jason's sister, Jamie Luberg, win that Fly Racing Pro Women's class earlier. Question is now, in a 3-way battle, can Jason Luberg take a championship here at ERX today? Find out when we come back. Welcome back, everyone, to Terracross and the Lucas Oil Points Championship presented by Polaris RZR. Here at ERX Motorpark in Elk River, Minnesota, we are getting ready for the Odyssey Battery Turbo 1000 Pro Men's Race, which will result in a champion being crowned here today. Tess Sewell alongside Grant Langston in the booth, Georgia Lindsay capturing all the action down on track. And this, a 3-way race between Coutu, Hill, and Luberg, Grant.
Yeah, and look who's buried in the pack, all 3 of them. But on front, Mark Nortman as well as Lucas Olsen. So these guys could become spoilers in this championship, whether they are just racing for themselves. The fact that they're in front of the points battle is going to make this interesting.
Well, the really interesting thing here is that Cole Coutu, he's got the catbird seat, if you want to call it that, and Luberg needs to fight and hope that Coutu has a bad result to make the championship work.
Oh.
Whoa! Not by driving that way, though.
Yeah, Luberg went for it from the inside. They didn't quite clear that basically step-up double jump. Got thrown a little sideways, but that could have gone a lot worse. But still back in action. You see these turbos with just a little extra power, able to get out over some of these jumps straight out of the corner.
So unfortunately for Jason Luberg, the number 21, the black and orange of Cole Coutu, is right behind him. He needs to put as much space as possible between himself and Cole Coutu to have a hope of coming out with the second championship for the Luberg family today.
Whoa! Little bobble there for Mark Norton. Little bicycle through that turn there. You can see Luberg looking for an opening. Dives up the inside. Isn't going to be enough. Beautiful little pass there. And gets over that step-up double. That's how you get it done.
Oh, and he's going for the lead already. This is what we expected to see today from Jason Luberg, pushing right from the get-go, and Olsen has stopped on the track.
Yeah, we've seen that a couple times now from several different drivers. Oh, and that sounds like a broken shaft in the rear there. Well, we didn't see what maybe caused it, if it was just a basic mechanical. And then see only the one wheel turning, so.
Yeah, one wheel out of four is not what you're looking for, so that is bad for Mark Notman. Almost certainly is going to take him out of the race. Also, bad news for Jason Luberg, because he needed as many drivers as possible between himself and Cole Coutu.
Yeah, and that's not working out as planned at the moment. They are running 1 and 2. So for Cole Coutu, this is all he really needs. For Luberg, all he can do is just keep his head forward, try win this race, and let the cards fall how they may.
But as we've seen, Grant, so many times in Terracross racing, until you are past that checkered flag on the final lap, it is just never over.
Absolutely not. Between mistakes, crashes, rollovers, mechanicals, there is a lot that can happen in a matter of one lap at a Terracross event. Throwing a slick and muddy track, and well, just got all the elements that lead to an exciting event.
And one of the things we've seen with these really powerful 1,000 horsepower turbo XP racers is when you come around a corner sometimes too fast and deliver the power, you can actually just send yourself onto the side.
Yep. You got to control that power slide. So you go from turning in, and then as it starts sliding, you start counter steering. And depending on how that slide works out, it's really hard to get these things straightened up and get, a good straight drive going into whether it's the whoop, a tabletop jump, a lot of elements out here. As we see just Lucas also getting beat around. They're trying to hold on to the leaders.
And the other championship contender we haven't been talking about, the Californian James Hill here. He's not in a very good position, but he's kind of trying to work his way around this track smoothly. Maybe hoping that Coutu and Luberg are going to have a little tussle and let him slide through.
Yeah, that's obviously a very good possibility. He's got to pick it up, close up a little bit. Of course, they will have their halfway competition portion, which will allow this group to sort of close back up and get another shot at it. Luberg looking smooth.
Well, he's just flying around this track. I mean, you can see the gap right now between himself and Cole Coutu. As you mentioned, though, at the halfway point, there will be a competition caution, and they will all be lined up again, nose to tail, for the second half of the race. So I think what Jason Luberg needs to do is conserve that machine, and there we are, the red and yellow flags flying. That is our competition caution, and that means our drivers will now be re-racked and ready for the start of the second half of our Odyssey Battery Turbo 1000 Pro competition. Can Luberg hold off Coutu to take the championship? Find out when we return to Terracross. Hi everyone, welcome back to Elk River, Minnesota, the ERX Motorpark and the Lucas Oil Points Championship, presented by Polaris RZR. The Odyssey Battery Turbo 1000s, the pro men, are on track. We're at the halfway caution point. They've been re-racked. They will restart. Jason Luberg leading them out, Grant.
Exactly what he needs to keep his championship hopes alive. But right behind him is the guy who controls his own destiny, Cole Coutu. So it's sort of caught him a bit of a tough spot right now. Do you go after the leader and risk maybe a mistake or a mechanical or even a crash? But if you sort of tone it down, you're going to have pressure coming from behind. You see Lucas Olsen there, right on the rear of Coutu.
And again, and a problem there for Olsen, which allows James Hill to slide through. What I was going to say is a tight race between Hill and Coutu.
Yeah, it was there, and then, oh, you can see.
Yeah.
Big puff of smoke there. And came to a grinding halt. Yep.
There you see, yeah.
That's the international language of she's done.
Okay, well, an engine gone, something we don't see very often here in Terracross racing. So Olsen out of the race, and I'm gonna have to try and calculate this in my head, but I know that the James Hill Cole Coutu race is one that is now very, very important. But Coutu is holding his space between himself and Jason Luberg. So if Luberg wins, I still don't think it's going to be enough to take the championship, but James Hill there, coming to the Californian in that 991 Razor, that could be the difference maker here.
Yeah, you can definitely tell right now he's hanging it out. He knows there's pretty much nothing to lose, everything in the game. Lucas Olsen out of the race. Mechanicals, you can tell, are disappointed.
I think there's just going to be an obstacle in the middle of this course from now on. I can't imagine there's going to be any way to push that out. James Hill, we're watching him now. You can see the gap between he and Cole Coutu is pretty significant, but Coutu is fighting hard to get up to Jason Luberg. And we said it before, a tussle between these two could open the door for Hill.
Yeah, they got to keep that in the back of their minds. But at the end of the day as well, you know, Cole Coutu wants to win the championship, but he'd also love to win the race as well, just as much as Jason Luberg. Well, if you can't win the championship, at least go out and win this last race. So a lot of pride at stake.
And I think most amazing through this season is that Luberg hasn't actually had a win. I mean, he fights so hard. But sometimes I think he goes a little too hard on the equipment. And I know Jason really just wants to win this, but he really, it's a great position for him to be in. He just has to go as hard as possible to win this race, regardless of whatever is happening behind it.
Oh, absolutely. You talk about going hard on the equipment with these turbos. You see these guys doing a lot more of the bigger jumps or jumping what the other vehicles aren't able to do. And sometimes you come out of a turn, you think you've got the drive, and you go for it anyway. And I think these drivers have to learn when to take that risk and when not to. White flag, last lap.
So all three championship contenders are still on track. Jason Luberg is leading out Cole Coutu, and Coutu's door now open. So it's definitely not over yet, but Cole needs to hang on to that second place. I think maybe if he's smart, he's backing off, but no, he's going for it.
These guys are racers. A lot of times you throw that word smart out of the window and you just use that right foot of yours.
And here we go. Jason Luberg comes across the line, gets the win here at ERX, and ready to pick up a passenger there. Cole Coutu with the door open, and look at that. Close finish between Luberg and Coutu. James Hill unfortunately faded back, but wow. I'm sure he's happy to get the win in this one. He's down on track with Georgia.
Jason taking that #1 plate in that moto. Now, the last few laps, it seemed like survival because from what I've heard, 3 axles on the vehicle. How do you deal with that while racing?
Yeah, the first lap or somewhere in there, I knew something was going on with the front end, so I was trying to take it easy. I didn't know what it was. Came in for the mid-race caution. They told me it was the axle, so just drive accordingly and, try to, not do anything crazy. Cole was catching me. I just had to kind of keep my pace and hope for the best.
Well, congratulations, first place.
Well, he did get a win. Very impressive, but the points championship did not go his way. Coutu taking it, Grant.
Yeah, he did just enough. He drove strong all season, very consistent. Did just enough. James Hill second, and Luberg, well, he ended up third.
So Cole Coutu, our new championship in the pro categories with Georgia.
Cole, second place in that last race. Last lap, I'm looking at you. Go past the finish line with no door. It's hanging off. What happened to create that?
Yeah, I had to start in the back of the pack, last place off the start, and I just tried to get through the first 5 laps and just try to make no mistakes, and I ended up going pretty smooth and not doing anything dangerous to wreck it, and ended up starting the second half of the final in second place and was able to just follow Jason. He was running some good lines, and I followed his lines. And the last lap, the door just popped open, the passenger door, and I just kept going and trying to keep up with Jason and try to make some lines and try to make something happen. Wasn't able to. Jason was running good, but yeah, huge thanks to my sponsors, Hayford Ford, Fly Racing, Polaris, everyone, Walker Evans Shocks, huge thanks.
And I don't even know if the 21-year-old from Wisconsin knows he is the champion. Well, coming up next, we put everybody back on track. The turbos versus the 1000s for the shootout. You do not want to miss that.
Terracross on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by TerracrossRacing.com. Affordable entertainment television. By E3 Spark Plugs, born to burn. And by Lucas Oil, made in America, sold to the world.
Welcome back, everyone, to Terracross Racing, the Lucas Oil Points Championship, presented by Polaris RZR. All of our championship races are now in the books. And this is the fun part of the weekend that we all wait for. Tess Sewell, Grant Langston, waiting for the shootout. That's right. All classes on track, all at once. It looks like madness, it feels like madness, and it is madness. And Georgia's on track to tell us more about it.
This is the race we have been waiting for. We have 16 races on the line, 8 of them turbos, 8 of them 1000s, and this is the shootout. Boys versus girls, 1000s versus turbos. This is going to really show us who's boss at Terracross.
Thanks, Georgia. And Grant, you see Jamie Luberg there at the right-hand side of the front. Ross Robinson, they are in the XP 1000s and will go off the line first.
Yeah, that's going to make things interesting. We got women down the one row, men down the other, and then the turbo machines at the back with more power. So this all lends itself to getting a little chaotic out there, especially with this many vehicles on track at one time. Not a lot of room out there when you got 16 of these wild, crazy drivers trying to make up as much time as possible straight out of the gate.
And in these conditions with the mud, we've seen how the lines have been changing. So the 1000s go first, there's a gap, and then the turbos will launch, so there won't be a problem with them off the line. And this is 8 laps straight. There is no halfway caution.
No, there isn't at all. Look at that. Jamie Luberg did not go for it, and then getting past. That was the 541.
Ross Robinson making that pass right away. But Andy Ives, who is the champion in that Pro-Am class, right behind him in the number 4 machine. But look at how chaotic this is right from the get-go.
It sure is. They're spreading out a little further back, and now they let the turbos go. So they'll be having to race with themselves as well as keeping an eye on the leaders up ahead. You can see them in the background as well as you can see already, yellow flags. There's going to be a lot of chaos out there, especially if someone's stuck in the wrong position. With a little Lucas Oil on board, giving you a perspective from the driver's point of view. What a great pass there.
Oh, wow. That was a big crash for Jamie Luberg. She took the women's championship earlier today. Oh.
Yeah, I think she just went for that step-up double out of the corner. She has just been passed by Ives, and I think trying to get right back, sort of attack immediately, and clip that jump, just threw her on the side.
So this race at the front, Ross Robinson and Andy Ives in there. XP 1000s, and you can see already Ross Robinson is coming up into some traffic, so that is going to cause some extra challenges. And for us, I think the challenge is just figuring out where everybody is. Oh, looks like we may have a red flag situation, or is it just a yellow around the obstacle?
I think it was just the yellow around the obstacle, just keeping keep the drivers safe, because you can see these guys the minute the yellow flags are not waving, they're straight back to racing.
And now Robinson is behind Michelle Abadi, has managed to find a way past her. There's all kinds of chaos. That's Cole Couture stuck in the middle of the track too.
Wow, it's hard to keep up. Oh, and that does not look good.
No, Ives has a problem on the front end. He will be out of the competition.
Yeah, it's not going to be able to finish with the front end like that. Door open, yes, you can finish like that. Might make it a little harder to pass, or that thing might get removed if he gets a little too close. So as we reset it, Ross Robinson has the lead. Going around where Jamie Luberg did go over.
Oh, wait. Little stop there for Ross Robinson. Not sure what was happening. They were directing him back.
They closed the door.
The track. Yeah, close the door.
I think he said close the door, figuring, hey, you can't pass under yellow. So when it went off the side of the track. Now the Piers have got that mess cleaned up. Josh Herron. Good to see him again. Road race champion, getting a little dirty out there.
You can see there Cole Couture's number 21 machine. That turbo stuck in the middle of the track now. Jason Luberg is really, really working his way through this pack. This is a great day for Luberg. He is feeling it. Look at the pass he just made there, slicing his way between those two machines, a Heron and a Body. He's coming fast, Brent.
Yeah, he looks like as this track's sort of finding its groove, he's finding his groove. See the exhaust pipes blowing there on that Razor. But yeah, threading the needle, great driving, great passing from Luberg. And that was impressive as we go have a look now. Amy Hood flying the flag for the ladies. Oh man, that jump getting so difficult for these drivers straight out of the corner. Oh, and a problem there for Michelle Abadi. She got stranded. Positions changing almost faster than timing and scoring can keep up.
And again, you've got these instances on the track where you not only have the challenge of the track itself, but you've got the challenge of whatever's parked in the middle of the track in front of you, or somebody with a problem like Michelle Abadi did, just literally stopping in the middle of the Sedona Tire Ripsaw Ridge, and you've got to find a way by. And again, another problem. That looked like Josh Herron's number 2 machine. We'll have to confirm that. Yeah,
couldn't quite see from that angle, but once again, positions just continue to change. And yes, you were right.
Oh, yeah.
Josh Herron, so probably bicycled, ended up going over.
And then Ash Washcock in the number 251 DeWalt machine, replacing Nate Wessel in this round. And I've got to tell you, he has been so impressive, winning both of his races here at ERX. And he's fighting his way through the pack here and really putting in an impressive drive.
Yeah. Oh, now Olsen having a problem. So this is really starting to create a traffic jam there.
Look at his face, absolutely covered in dirt as he tries to see his way through. Great news though for Ross Robinson, the 541. Ross coming all the way over from Oregon, having a great weekend of racing, and he has got some pretty clear air at the moment.
I was just going to say the best thing too is there's basically no one around him for the moment, because that could all change within a matter of a lap. But he can basically get a visual and see I've got no one close to me behind. I don't have to, keep charging. It might even make some sense to back it down a little bit so you don't run into too many lap cars.
But you know what? I've got to tell you, I've just been looking at the timing here. Jason Luberg is absolutely screaming through this course. He's already in 2nd position in his turbo and chasing down Ross Robinson. That looks like Luberg behind him. So, wow, has Jason Luberg really turned up the heat.
Oh, he sure has. He kind of caught us off guard, just snuck through the pack. So, once again, positions changing, and see the light starting to fade here with these dark clouds.
Oh, there you can see the gap. That's Ross Robinson in the 541, the yellow and black Ziegler Cat machine behind him. Oh, and it's not going to be enough. Luberg was chasing so hard, and by a few seconds, Ross Robinson takes our Turbo versus XP 1000 shootout.
Yeah, by just a couple seconds. They had a little gap over Washcob, who ended up third. A lot of drivers still end up on the lead lap. Great racing. Hard to keep up at times there, Tess, but not from a lack of action.
Well, a lot of chaos on track, as we said right from the start, with 16 machines racing a tight, muddy track, but a great race for Ross Robinson. We'll catch up with Ross and the rest of our races when we come back to ERX Motorpark and the Terracross Championship.
Terracross on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Polaris Razor. Fuel your freedom. By Sedona Tire and Wheel. And by Lucas Oil. Made in America. Sold to the world.
Hello everyone, you're watching the Lucas Oil Points Championship presented by Polaris Razor. This is Terracross Racing from Elk River, Minnesota. Tess Sewell along with Grant Langston and Georgia Lindsay. We just saw our Turbo versus 1000 shootout. Jason Luber didn't quite have enough to push it all the way to the win. But what a fantastic race. Ross Robinson taking the win there. And our whole podium is down with Georgia.
Well, what an amazing shootout to end the day. Ross taking the overall first place. Talk me through that race. It was chaos.
Luckily I got a good start and started at the front. And I came around the first corner, and there's a tricky double, and I knew if I could get over it first lap, it'd put me out front easy. And I came on the outside and got over it, and from there I was just running my own race and trying to stay fast. And I knew I was ready for Jason to come in the turbo behind me and catch me, and I knew I was running out of time, and luckily I pulled it off.
You kind of explained that to me in the pre-race interview as well, but second place for you. I know that you did work building the tracks, racing and everything, but for you, how do you feel like the day went?
It went really well. The weather held off, and we can get the mud off the track, and it turned into a nice race. The track came around really well, and I think it turned out fun. Turned out to be a good day.
Now, it was really hard in that race with 16 people on the track. How do you avoid races that have turned upside down and things like that?
That's a tough race because it's hard to pick a pace, because the leader's running away, but, you can't go crazy because you end up braking. So it's hard to pick a pace through the pack. And luckily, I picked a good pace, just ran out of time.
Well, congratulations, second place. And last but not least, we found a gorilla who decided to come third place. Ash, congratulations, third place coming into this weekend. Terracross not being the main thing you do, you're happy leaving like this?
Absolutely. I couldn't be any happier. The whole event just went awesome. Regardless of the rain, the track crew, everybody did a really good job, and I would love to get a chance to do it again. This is my first time in a buggy, and I hope to have more four-wheel experiences.
And can you just tell us the meaning behind the gorilla suit that you did actually race in?
I just wanted to bring out the Crazy 8. Let the monkey get dirty. So it's Halloween bash, and here to have some fun. It's time to party.
Congratulations. Well done, Ash.
Well, despite the adversity of the weather, Joe Duncan and the whole Terracross crew put in an amazing event here. 4 championships decided this weekend. For Grant Langston and Georgia Lindsay, this is Tess Sewell saying thank you so much for joining us at Terracross this year. We expect to see you all next year for another exciting Terracross Championship.